Oh, got a CDR Genesis. And yep, found it unpaid rental collection. Oh, we good. We good. Who's at the office? Is that Devin?
Howdy.
It is Devin. I'm not getting that old.
How's everyone doing this morning?
Doing great.
Doing great. All right. Able to share my screen, guys. I'm gonna pull up a rental collection. Know how to identify that. I think we got just about everybody on we need on. Not we need on, but I think we got a good amount of people to get started. What's up, Laura? Laura jumped on. Bunch of note takers. You guys see my screen there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let me get my coffee real quick and then we'll get started.
All right, we got quite a few people on. Yep. Oh, yes? I don't hear.
Well, he said he's getting coffee.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
That's Hey, Jean, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. How was the trip to bringing your grandkids back?
Never happened.
What?
You it's a long story, but they Friday they were on a plane that had mechanical issues.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I don't want to go through it because I don't want to relive the moment, but
Yeah, no, I hear you.
long story short, they had to land in the middle of the Atlantic in a small airport.
Oh my God. Oh, so this happened in the air. It wasn't on before they were taking off.
No, it happened 3 hours into an 8-hour flight.
Oh my
They
God.
prepped them for a water landing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but anyway, they landed, and I'm taking the kids today. They got in at 10 o'clock last night, so I'm taking the kids today.
Okay.
After this call, I'm taking them.
Okay.
But the whole weekend just got completely out of whack. You know, our schedules just got, because we had everything lined up, and obviously none of it happened. But the good news is that they made it. They finally made it home last night.
Oh.
So now you're gonna, Jean, now you're gonna take them and hug them and love them and kiss them, I'm sure.
Well, my daughter and my son-in-law were on that plane. I'm definitely gonna hug and kiss my daughter. I don't know about my son-in-law; he's ugly, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm excited to take the girls back.
Well,
to
grace
them.
be to God that, like, everybody's alive and well and healthy. So
Oh,
I'm sorry you
amen.
have to go through that.
Amen. It was scary when my daughter texted us saying, "I don't want to freak you guys out, but the plane's having issues. We smell smoke. We got to land, and it might be on the water, so they're prepping us."
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I will keep your family in my thoughts and prayers as they try to make it back home as well.
Yeah, everybody's good. Everybody's good. We're fine. We got to get the girls home so they can get back to their routine and we can
Yeah.
get back to sleeping at night.
Yep, almost back to school time. So, all right. So today is leases with the leasinator, Joe. Whenever you're ready, Joe, we can go.
What's my last name though?
Chavarria,
Hey.
Joe Mama,
Chavaria.
Chavaria.
Chavaria?
Mhm.
All right, let me get my right screen. I found a juicier rental collection, and this one has an eviction, I believe, on it too. All right,
Oh, damn.
let's get started. Just shared my screen there. Let me blow this one up a
Oh,
little
get
bit.
rid of the note takers. Okay, I'll do that from now on.
All right, so this is what a rental collection looks like. Your key players, debt collector wise, who typically buy these accounts. Pro Collect, they're out of Dallas. The owner's an asshole. That's the number one is Pro Collect. I say they're an asshole because they don't settle, they don't delete, they don't do nada. It's pay it all or leave it. So they're the biggest buyer of rental collections. There's also Rent Debt Automated. That's a big player, and Rent Recovery. But those other two, they will settle and they will remove. Pro Collect, this client's got a Pro Collect. So basically how I got here, this is a RentSpree report.
Joe, real quick. I don't know if a lot of people understand it, but guys, to understand a lot of debt collection and things like this, there's the first market, which is, let's say I'm somebody who is a property manager or I'm a homeowner and I have a debt I want to collect on somebody, or I had a victim and I want a judgment, or all these different things. These companies, they come in and they buy the debt, they buy the judgments so that they can go and collect on them. So it's kind of explain a little bit of that, Joe, so to know how it gets to this report, because like if I'm a landlord, I may evict or judge or try to do whatever, but most of my stuff will never make it to their credit report, right?
Yeah, so you have unpaid rental collections, then you have evictions, judgments, right? Usually you don't have the same account show up both ways because it's usually one or the other, right? If it's an eviction filed with the court turns into a judgment, it's typically going to live there. If it is just an unpaid rental collection, meaning they broke the lease or they usually they broke the lease or they just didn't give proper notice and they got hit with like an early termination fee on from their apartment plus like last month's rent or whatever it might be, that they'll turn that into an unpaid rental collection. The vast majority that you're going to see in this business, if dealing with rental clients, is vast majority is going to be the early termination fee turned into an unpaid rental collection because your client probably maybe it was like their first apartment or second apartment or whatever it might be, and they don't, they're sort of new to it, right? When you sign a lease, you're supposed to get for an apartment, for example, you're supposed to give, you have to let them know what you intend to do. You intend to renew, you intend to not renew, right? But there's an intention needs to be given, some kind of notice to the apartment complex. Your average least sophisticated consumer is going to probably verbally let the person know, but they're supposed to do that in writing to really protect themselves. Anyways, you might get they might get hit with an unpaid rental collection, which is the early termination fee, and they don't even know about it. So you got companies like these guys, and the way you identify how I found out that it is an unpaid rental collection, if you're looking at a credit report, you're looking at a RentSpree report. When it says credit grantor, which is basically like the original creditor, this says Kipford at Kima Crossing, right? So I mean that's the name of an apartment complex, right? And then the balance over here, 28K, right? So that's how you identify an unpaid rental collection, is when you go through someone's RentSpree report or the credit report. If you see something that's got like a name of what would be a an apartment complex or a property management company with a high balance, 9 times out of 10, that is an unpaid rental collection, right? So now when you identify it, right, you got two options. Option A, which I think most agents do, is throw their hands up in the air and say, I can't help you, right? Because you're gonna get declined a lot. Option B, where the sharks stand out from the school of fish, is you say, okay, Mr. Client, what happened? Your side of the story. Tell me your side of the story. What happened here? So in this example here, this client said that the reason why this happened is because their oldest daughter developed brain cancer, and all the money that they were bringing in from work and everything was going towards medical bills to keep her alive. And they did everything they could to stay afloat, but it just couldn't work, right? They had to make a decision to leave the apartment, move in with family and friends for the time being, and put the money towards saving their daughter or pay rent, right? That's the choice they had to make. All right, so I mean that's a legitimate situation, right? Putting myself in their shoes, that makes sense. So what do you do with that information? Well, with that information, I will grab their story, I'll throw it into Claude and tell Claude, create me a letter of explanation for my client. And lo and behold, it'll create something like this. I'll share my screen if I can find it. But I would make a letter of explanation in that situation there. Okay. I'll find it a little bit. Anyways, so that's what an unpaid rental collection looks like.
Okay. Hey,
Question so far on that?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So maybe you covered this and I missed it early, but so this is somebody's debt, right? That you have here.
Credit report.
Yeah. Oh, it's your credit report. Okay. So you ran the credit report, or they gave it to you?
This is from RentSpree. So you can, as a realtor, you have free access to use a screening service like RentSpree. You get free the free version of it, which is just enough to do what you need to do, right? So what I do with my process is I'll screen the tenant on my end. Okay. I don't want to rely on the listing agent or the landlord to screen, and my client pay the $50 and then they tell me what's on their RentSpree report and why they're not going to approve them. I rather.
How do you run it for free, Joe? I didn't know we could run it for free.
No. I say you have the free version. So RentSpree, you have the free account, the pro account. I'm saying as a realtor through HAR, through your HAR membership, you have the free access to RentSpree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it costs to run every time, but you don't have to pay for the subscription, which is what usually people have to do. And
So
I
what
want
does it cost?
Joe, do me a favor. Go back to that Pro Collect, because I know we're going to get into lead. I want people to understand something real quick. Well, he might already cover it up, but guys, listen, that Pro Collect, so the apartment complex that gave that number, 28,993, that came from all the months rent that they did not pay when they
Plus
were
fees.
taking the property, right? Plus fees, all this stuff, right? Now, Pro Collect is not the apartment complex. Pro Collect bought that debt from the apartment complex and said, hey, sign this over to us. We'll go and get it. How much do they usually pay on the dollar? So that's 28,993. How much does Pro Collect usually pay that apartment complex to pick up that debt?
Oh, Pro Collect? I don't know. Probably not much. Maybe for that amount there, it's usually like 2 to 3 cents on the dollar. Normally is what they'll pay to get it up.
So I want y'all to, and this is just and I don't want to hijack this. I just want us to understand how the game is played. So the apartment complex
That's $800.
says they're out $28,000, and then Pro Collect comes in and buys it from them for like $2,000, $1,000, something crazy low. But Pro Collect wants to get as close to that 28,000 as possible for all of it. Like they'll fight you tooth and nail to say, no, we're not going to leave you alone. They'll call you, they'll bother you, they make sure they put it on your credit report so it always shows up, and now it's a new issue every time you go somewhere. they'll do everything. Pro collect, he's saying, is a really hard one. There are some that'll say, okay, we'll settle for 40% on whatever you owe. So let's say give us $10,000 and we'll walk away and we'll leave you alone and remove from your credit. So there's a lot of things in that world. I just want y'all to understand. I don't want to get too deep into that, but you have to know how we get to this place where this hardcore company is now going to bother you and not take it off your credit report.
Yeah, and we're talking about like solutions for your client, right? So because the goal right now is I got to get them approved, right? Hey, we got to move, right? So if their time frame is like we got to move, and like this client here, the Sackett family, they got to move within like 2 or 3 weeks, right? Okay, so we don't really have time to settle the account out or resolve it, clear your record, and then find something, right? Some clients do have time, right, for that. Okay, cool. But in this situation here, they don't have time. And we have to put together a letter of explanation and go for it, right? So, and then real quick, I want to show you what an eviction would look like. So here is through RentSpree. When you get to the eviction record, this is what an eviction would look like. Okay. And it'll just say needs review under housing records. It'll pull up the case number. It'll pull up the plaintiff, which is going to be, the name of the entity that sued. And then it'll say when it says street address or plaintiff, usually that's going to be connected to another rental type collection, right? And tells you the amount and all that stuff as well. So when there's an eviction on someone's record, a little harder to settle and remove. You got to like locate the attorney that represented them, and work out a deal with them to settle and get the lien released or get the judgment released, to clear their name. But again, another thing still, if someone's on a very tight time frame, is we have no choice but to do a letter of explanation. And so I want to show you what a letter of explanation does, what it looks like. But before I look that up and try to find it, or while I look that up, try to find it, I talked about so far how to identify broken lease, eviction, rental collection. You do want to find out their side of the story, right? I think that's one thing that most agents fail at, is they automatically judge them based on that and think that, oh, it's going to be so difficult to get you approved and I'm not going to really make any commission, so therefore I can't really help you, right? Versus being on your client's side and say, look, I'm going to advocate for you. I'm going to really work for you on this one. Tell me what happened, right? Tell me your side of the story. Why did this rental collection happen? Why did this eviction happen? And I don't mean it from a judgmental place. Like, tell me your side of the story. We know their side of the story because we see it on your record. What is your side of the story? Like, what led to this? What outside force, outside of your control, caused this to happen? I know you did not want to have a broken lease. I know you didn't want to be evicted, but just tell me your side of the story, what happened, so I can draft up at least a letter of explanation and present it to a landlord, to a listing agent, to try to get this approved by sharing your side of the story. And hopefully they have a heart and they want to give you another chance, which a lot of them do.
So,
yep.
I have a question here. So I saw the eviction line, which is the judgment with the county, and then I saw the collection from the other company, Pro Collect. Mm-hmm. Is that the same instance? I didn't look at it close enough.
No, that was so the Pro Collect was actually on the wife's report. That was the wife's one. The husband had the eviction.
They're 5 years apart. They're 5 years apart.
Yep. So another thing too, I'll give my clients grace. I'm always going to believe them. I'm not going to believe them 100% of the time, but I'm always going to believe them for the most part. Like in that scenario there, that story of the daughter having brain cancer, I think that was actually connected to that more recent one, right? Because she was talking about an apartment. That one right there for Sean, that was like something else, or it could be reversed, right? So this whole entire time I thought there was one broken lease, but turns out there's a broken lease plus an eviction. I don't remember the side of the story. I know I have it. I just don't remember what it is, but they did explain it, right? And that's a big part there. It's another reason why you should be getting a RentSpree report on your clients, on your rental clients, right. Because they had probably no clue, or maybe they did, but they just didn't want to tell me that there was also an eviction, right? We explained the broken lease, but also there's an eviction. I'm embarrassed. Again, keep in mind your people, your clients that have these kind of issues, they're also are coming from a level, they're coming from a level of embarrassment because they don't want to relive that situation all over again. And they're also coming from a position of being reserved because even though you're on their side, they're conditioned and trained to believe that the more information they withhold, there's a good possibility that someone might not find out about it, which means that someone would approve them, right? So, it's a lot of times it's like prying back an onion here to get to the root story of what's going on with your client. And that's why you got to build trust. You got to get them to trust you, know that, hey, I'm on your side. I'm here to help you. The more transparent, the more information you can give me, the more effective I'm going to be at my job at getting you approved. Ain't that right, Glorious? Right?
So,
Which I got.
good question, Will. So, like, say if you have 2 months or less to get your person into a new rental, whether it's apartments or homes or whatever, besides looking at their credit, asking them, what the deal was, why do we have all these evictions or anything like that, or any other kind of things, like maybe a repo, and besides doing a letter for them for that, or possibly offering more of a deposit to get them into a place, is there any other options to help them either clear up their credit a little bit better or to be able to get them into a rental besides those two things?
So a couple of things there, and Ozzy was touching on this about probably settling some things out, who would maybe work out a settlement to get something cleared off their name. And then what you're touching on there is like 2 months out. Okay, so assuming you got someone who's like 2 months out and you do have their RentSpree report or credit report of some sort, and that things that exist. And we're talking about strictly unpaid rental collections. If you have if your client has an unpaid rental collection and it's the collection agency is Rent Debt Automated, you can call Gabriel, ask for Gabriel. He's the supervisor over there at Rent Debt Recovery. He'll work out a 40 to 50% settlement, meaning you're paying 40 to 50 cents on the dollar. So about half of what is owed, or more than half. They'll settle it. They'll settle it out and also remove it off your client's credit report. So that's something that can help them increase traditional approvals by resolving their unpaid rental collection debt on their record so they can kind of clear their name from that. That's something you can do if they're about 2 months out, right? And maybe not do it for them specifically, but just maybe give them the number to call Rent Debt, say, hey, they'll work something out with you, they'll settle, give them a call. Don't tell them you have all the money in the world or you're sitting on cash, right? You want to come from a place of, hey, I don't really have a lot of money right now, but I do want to get this resolved, and clear my name. So what's the best settlement offer you can offer me at this time, right?
My favorite script, guys, on debt settlement like that is, hey, look, man, whatever this guy's name is, Bob or whatever. Hey, Bob, man, look, here's the deal. I want to settle my debts. I don't want to keep these out there. I've got 3 creditors that I want to settle one today, and I just need to know who's going to give me the best deal that I can actually pay. I may have to borrow money from my mom or my dad, but I just want to get some things off my credit today. I just need to know what's your best offer. If you could talk to your manager and get them to give me your best offer, I'm going to look at yours and my other creditors, and I'm going to settle one today. I'd like you to get a paycheck. I'd like you to get a commission. I'd like to get this thing off my credit, but I got to go with the best one. So let me know what you can do. Like you're basically, you don't want to be a hard ass and act like you don't want to do anything. You don't want to act like you're trying to walk away from the debt, but you also want to let them know, like, hey, I don't have unlimited funds and I'm not the rich guy that's just going to pay everybody off. And I've got 2 or 3 other companies that are hounding me too. I want to get this done. Who should I, like, are you going to be the one that wins, or should I go with one of the other guys? But somebody's getting paid today. I hope it's you, Joe.
Oh, are you going to show us how to get RentSpree on there?
No, not yet. So just because of time, because I know we got Motivational Monday coming up, I do want to show you guys. That's good stuff, Ozzy. Assuming, okay, the time frame is it's shorter, right? So your client needs to move in 30 days or less. We got the rental collection. We got the eviction. We're dealing with that, right? We don't have time to really mess with it. We're assuming we're at that part of it. So you have to avoid the property management companies, they're going to flat out decline it. They use AI to screen your client's application. If they just detect evidence of an unpaid rental collection or an eviction, it's a flat out decline. There is no double deposit or triple deposit or letter of explanation. It does not matter. They're set and trained. The criteria is if there's any evidence of any of that stuff, it's an automatic decline. You have to look for properties that are going to be, I call them kind of like for rent by owner, even though they're a listing agent that represents them. You have to go kind of like the by owner route. So when you're in the matrix, you go to search, you do your quick rental search, you're going to set them up with the search, send them some properties. You got to make sure towards the bottom, you have this option on here where it says additional fields. You want to make sure you have the option selected for management company, yes or no. If this is your first time in the matrix, you're not going to have that. So but you are going to see that additional fields option towards the bottom. You're going to see that. You'll hit add or remove, and then search for management company, yes or no. Make sure you have it added on there so you have that option to select it. And then what you'll do is make sure you select no, and that way you only pull the listings that are not property management owned or ran or managed, right? It's just going to be listings that are listed with another listing agent. And maybe the landlord is like a first-time landlord, or maybe a small-time landlord. They got maybe 2-3 properties, but they don't have enough volume to where they can justify paying a property management company. They just have an agent put on the market, want to get it rented, and the other listing agent is just doing the screening part of it, handling all the paperwork, and waiting for other agents to bring them a tenant, right? So that's what you want to do, combined with everything I just mentioned, which is the rent packet, right? The letter of explanation, proof of income, pay stubs, ID, yada, yada. Present it to the listing agent and say, run this by your landlord client, right? And come back to us and let us know if my client were to move forward, would your client, approve? Would your landlord approve, a file like that? So I just wanted to share that real quick for the sake of time. Next week, I'll pick up more. There's still a lot to cover when it comes to rental collections and unpaid rental collections and evictions and things like that, and navigating through that. But I just wanted to cover this real quick so you guys have something to leave with.
I want to give you another 10 minutes. I'll be honest. So today's motivational, we are just going to talk about what went down yesterday. We are just going to talk about Chelsea, Clarissa, Robin, like everybody that came together to make yesterday happen. That's all we're going to talk about. So that won't take a full 30 minutes. So Joe, if you want to cover some more stuff right now, man, you got the floor, bro. Keep teaching.
Absolutely. Let me get the letter of explanation pulled up. While I pull that up, guys, trying to find a letter of explanation with a rental collection, because I do letters of explanation literally like on everything, bad credit, collection issues, whatever it might be. I'm trying to find one with a broken lease or eviction. But while I pull that up, I found one. What you guys got real quick? Anyone got a question real quick? I just found my letter of explanation.
I mean, I don't have a question, but you basically have an opportunity to review this credit report and also validate the story, right? Like if they have if the daughter's 7 years old, but they have stuff on there that goes back 10 years, they're probably just not very responsible.
I don't know. Again, and again, that word there, not very responsible. We're all not very responsible. Yeah. All of us are.
We're not the landlord. We are representing the tenant. So it's how do we package this story? And here's the deal is, man, this is people coming from credit repair. Me and Joe have done credit repair for almost 2 decades now. I started repairing credit like, God dang it, for a long time ago. And if there's anybody that can like repair anybody's credit, the shit we know about repairing credit is ridiculous. What I will tell you is the average American goes through at least 4 to 5 credit life cycles, meaning they got good credit and then they fuck it up. And then they got good credit and then they mess it up. And here's the deal is, some of those cycles, absolutely irresponsible behavior. Some of those cycles are like, I want y'all to understand where we are at right now with the economy. It's you're living high off the hog. Everything's great. You're making good money. Then your company, I know a company that just laid off 16,000 people in North America. What do you do? What do you do when you can't make your car payment anymore? What do you do when you can't keep up with your mortgage and now you got to downsize and move into a rental property? Like life is just going to happen sometimes, right? And I will tell you, I'm going to say this, and I think Joe will agree with me. If you've lived in the credit world long enough and you see this stuff, a majority of Americans are credit irresponsible, if you want to call it that, or like have credit issues. Like we want more, we get in over our heads, and we get into credit issues. It's arguably to say it's the American way.
Yeah, and I get what I kind of get what you're asking too, Gene, too, because like let's say they told me their side of the story, but something else pops up, right?
Listen, I'm looking at it from my perspective. What's my ROI on this? Am I going to spend 2 hours with these people and not get anywhere? I mean, but you got. I mean, I'm thinking from where I am, right? I just landed here. I'm trying to get my head around this, and that's how I'm thinking. So I got to get really good at.
So one thing you want to do is think about.
I want to cover this real quick, guys. First, you work to learn, and then you work to earn. So in this particular situation right here, I want you to understand, you're learning about credit. You're learning about how to write letters to help people. You're learning about how to read a credit report. You're learning about how to go in the MLS and manipulate the data. Like this type of education, yes, if some people may be like, oh, it's not really worth it. Guys, when you get good at it, this doesn't just make you badass at leasing properties so you could just rattle them off and get them done. Imagine how dangerous you become when you know how to read a credit report. Imagine how dangerous you become when you know how to create this letter that overcomes some of these credit issues.
Yeah.
Imagine how dangerous you become when you can go into hard and manipulate the data to find things where you don't have to show a property and you can save time, money, and energy. Guys, the lesson is that like dig into, especially if you're just getting started. First, you work to learn, then you work to earn. And that education, it's like going to college, but you get to get paid while you're going to college. Most people go get a 4-year degree. They spend $100,000 and get in debt for 4 years. They can barely work a job on the side. And then they go and get a kind of crappy job and still work another 4 or 5 years to get up the ladder. You're talking 8 years and some debt. Real estate, you get to learn while you're making money and you're not getting in college debt. Like you're getting your degree with just bootstrapping it. And that's what Joe's teaching us how to do here. It's remarkable.
And then you also got to think about you're building your pipeline, because it gets easier and easier for you to be able to work these rental leads. You're gonna show your worth to your clients, that they're gonna go ahead and refer you to other people that need rental help or is looking to buy or sell, or down the road if they want to buy or sell a property. So it's all about, you start here. Yeah, it's a lot of work in the beginning because you don't know what you're doing and stuff, but then you get that education, like Ozzy is saying, built up, and it becomes easier for you, because Joe can like get them out now quick. So easy.
Yeah.
Me, it still takes me time, but it's that pipeline you're building. Even if in the end they're not buying with you, they refer you to other people.
You guys just gave me the ROI. Thank you.
Yeah. And sometimes it's really hard to measure on a lease because of all of that, because immediate ROI is going to be typically 50% of, the rent, right? As a commission, right? That's typically, your GCI. But there's some immeasurable GCI. I mean, there's obviously I do a ton of leases. I think I've closed 13, 14, purchase transactions this year so far, and half of them are renters. Right? So, and there's one of them in there that there's one rental client that paid me absolutely zero because the landlord wanted the commission they're offering was zero. And I went to town for this client trying to get this thing done. And we finally got it done. And guess what? They're paying zero commission, but I'm like, it is what it is. Let me get you in. And then like 6 months later, Joe, here's my coworker. She's trying to buy a house and she put my name down on the DR Horton. They paid 5% commission. That was 17 grand in GCI. I didn't expect that, right? It came out of nowhere. She's just like, I just remember, Joe, you were that one guy. No one wanted to return my call. I was dead, just out of my luck. No one's trying to help me. You're the only one that was helping me. I'm giving you every one of my referrals, right? And so, ROI, sometimes, there's the immediate one, but sometimes there's the immeasurable one. Just is something I preach in the class. Just have fun with it. Take it as a learning experience. Just use it to learn, get some transactions under your belt, and just build that pipeline.
And of course, like, we're not doing this for free. We came into it because we want to make money too, but it's all about helping somebody out, being there where nobody else will be there, like Joe said, and then relationships, building that relationship with these people. And then because there's not a lot out there of realtors that are like us, like we feed into the relationship of it all. So people are going to remember us, and they're going to want to use us and have their friends and family use us.
Yeah, so I'm sharing with a letter of explanation. Like I said, I got the client's story. This is kind of their story, or a version of it, and I just told AI, "Hey, make me a letter of explanation regarding that account," and then it populated, everything else that I need. So you don't have to make it too complicated. And RentSpree does a lot of the work. RentSpree got this guy's ID up in there. It's got the income verification plug in there. Now RentSpree does this on the pro version, so I ran the free version as long as I could, because I got a little tired of trying to collect IDs and even though I did have it automated a little bit. I like the fact that RentSpree was like a one-stop shop where they can just plug all that stuff in there. What else you guys got? I think we're about 10 minutes over, but I'm happy to hang back, answer another question or two, and go from there.
At what point in time do you go from the RentSpree that's free for you to, okay, let me get a RentSpree over to my client and have them pay for it, and I get that one?
Oh, they always pay for it. No, yeah. So when we're talking about paid and free,
I got this one. Sorry.
So so there's the subscription and then there's the application. The subscription to us is free.
Yeah.
The application to run the reports is never free.
Okay.
And they're going to pay for that. We are not paying for that.
Okay.
Got
So
it?
what comes in the subscription then?
the screening service, that it gives you, like to get the credit report, the background, the eviction records, like everything we showed earlier. The paid versions give you RentSpree's will give you the option to hey, do you want your renter to upload their IDs and check stubs through us, right? Yeah, that'd be great. Do you want us to also do they have a connection with MasterCard. You want us to use MasterCard to log on to their bank account and verify their deposits and come up with a bona fide income verification report that you can present to landlords? Sure, I like that. Do you want us to do the Texas realtor application as well? Right? Yeah, that'd be great. You could do that. All right. Those are upsells that RentSpree offers on the paid version. It's like $20 a month. I built my whole my rental business for a while without RentSpree. Then I found out about it and I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I'm not using anything else. And I ran the free version of RentSpree for I don't know, a year, until I found out that I needed the pro version of RentSpree. Right. So run that thing as long as you can. Use that free version as long as you can.
Let's go. Thank you, Joe.
Got it.
All right. It is gratitude and bucket filler time. What are you guys grateful for today?
I have one.
We know what you're going to say.
Okay. Well, let me wait.
I'm going to pick on you in a minute. Hold off, Claudia.
Okay.
In a minute. Anybody else who's got a gratitude and bucket? I want 2 or 3 because we're rolling in. You're going to be one of my premier speakers today. Go ahead, Jacqueline.
I took this weekend for me and my family, and spent the weekend with my son in Dallas, hanging out and everything. So I feel so glad that I did it and ready to come back.
Let's go. You got to sharpen your mental blade. All right, I need at least 2 more gratitudes and bucket filler. What y'all got?
Mine's not going to be totally about that, so I'm just going to leave that part out.
If it's going to be about it, let's hold off because I'm going to dig into it in a couple minutes.
I was just going to talk about my family.
Okay, was it have to do with the event? Okay, we're gonna get into it just a little bit. I want 2 other gratitude and bucket fillers that do not have to do with yesterday's event because I'm gonna dig into that in just a second. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick on some people. Othan or Gene, go ahead. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so much to be grateful for. I can pick too many, but I mean, just playing off of this morning, I'm grateful for the knowledge that I see here every time I show up to a morning call or you know, an afternoon session. The knowledge that you guys share with each other is amazing. I will tell you, I paid a lot of money for everything I learned in my career. None of it came from you know, very little came from free, right? Free training. When I was young and I was starting in my career, I paid to go to these workshops with all these schools and trade schools where they taught you how to overcome objections, how to, you know, deal with stress, how to talk to people, how to deal with conflict. And I look at what you're doing here as a team, and it's amazing. I hope everybody takes full advantage of it. So I'm grateful to see what's happening here. I really am.
It took
Let's
you.
go.
It took you long enough to join us, Gene.
Well,
You ready to go? All right. So I got something. You know, that's a perfect segue into what's next before we go to the actual event. Ashley Davis has put together the Tom Ferry Summit to be here in the office. We're going to have it in the training room over there for anybody who wants to come in and witness it, learn it. It's a 3-day experience. So you can come in. It'll be live broadcast there. You're going to have speakers from all over the country on stage teaching about all kinds of stuff. So kind of how we do here, but imagine on a national, international level where you have agents, team owners, listing agents, buyers agents that may be closing 100, 200, 300. No, that's fine. Like tons and tons of transactions, right? And they're going to teach you how they operate, how they function. So you're going to get a whole nother view of how to go out and get business. Ashley, will you tell us a little bit about like some of the things you have learned? Because I know you've been with Tom Ferry Coaching for quite a while.
Okay, hey y'all, sorry I'm driving, but yes. The thing that sticks out to me that I've learned is my listing presentation. One year they had a mock listing presentation of a lady who's been in real estate for like, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. And I basically took what she did and I ran with it. That changed everything because I was always rushing around for my listing appointments. And now it's like, I just got the same thing every time. I'm ready to go. But yeah, it's like drinking from a fire hose. You will get so much information that you almost won't know what to do with it. So if you do come, I say always write down your top 3, top 5 things because it's a lot. It's amazing. You'll get speakers on social media. You'll get speakers on listing, buyer appointments, AI, all those types of things. So no matter what you want to learn, there is something for everybody.
So how much does it usually cost to attend one of these conferences? Like you go in person or whatever?
So it starts at $499. So if you try to buy a ticket like right now at this moment, it would cost $1,000.
$1,000. So what we're going to offer today, guys, is to come in and you get it for the next 3 days, not just today. It's tomorrow and it is Wednesday. Ashley's already paid the $450, $495 sign up. All we ask is that you contribute $50 and you get access to all 3 days. You come in, you can sit in the room and attend whatever sessions you want to. She sent out the agenda. I don't know if y'all saw it today, but if you look in Google Meets, in Google Chat, she posted the agenda and you can pick and choose which ones you want to attend and which ones you believe you need for your business. And like she said, she usually pays $1,000 or $500 and she will tell you it's worth every penny. If you go in and you pick up one thing that gets you one listing or one buyer or one extra closing this year that's worth $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, it's not just that one piece of business you're picking up. You are picking up the knowledge that can change your business forever. So I challenge you guys to get in here. I'm going to be here in and out. I saw some of the classes in there that I want to learn more about. So I'm going to be I'm contributing as well. I challenge you guys to get in here and get your knowledge on. For $50, you have access to amazing education training that would usually cost you $500 to $1,000, and you get to pick and choose what you're going to learn from. So
How often?
if you want
is
to
the
invest in
training?
your business, show your ass up. This is once a year, right?
Oh,
Yes, once a year.
Once a
And
year.
it starts at noon today.
So you got time to make a good financial decision. You got time to say, hey, I need to invest in my business and show my ass up to the office and pay attention to what we have going on here. So I love that Ashley brought it to the table. I think right now we've only got 3 or 4 people already connected. Me, Ashley, and like 1 or 2 other people committed. It's $50. $50 for you. It's $500. No, it's $50. It's a very small investment for you to get an amazing education. Yeah, you can get a sponsor. Heck, ask one of your survey companies, mortgage companies, lenders. Say, hey, I want to pay to attend this event. It's going to be in my office. Would you be willing to sponsor me by $50? I'm pretty sure they'd be willing to cough up $50 if you don't have it. But I will tell you, if you spend the $50 out of your pocket, probably going to get more out of it. Skin in the game matters. To say, hey, I spent the $50. Maybe I should show up and get my damn $50 worth, and it will help your business. So thank you for that. Now we move on to our main topic of the day. I want to start with somebody who I don't know will talk as much, but Chelsea. And I want to cue you up first, guys. The numbers are astounding. But even more than the numbers, and I cried a little bit yesterday. I brought my son there to volunteer. But watching what went down yesterday was phenomenal. If you missed it, that sucks for you. You should have shown up to this shit because it was absolutely amazing. Guys, I walked in and there like a police officer opened the door. It was just so well organized. I walked in, a police officer opened the door. They were so welcoming. There was a red carpet on the right side, and you saw little kids, and they were like strutting their stuff, and their moms and dads were like taking pictures and videoing them.
balloon arch.
But there was a balloon. It was so well put together. Christine and
Delana.
Christine, Delana, and Keelan, and all the kids. They were like, people were serving up popcorn. And there was like, and I don't care. There was like snow cone juice on the floor, and everybody just having a good time. I was just mopping it up, and there were people getting haircuts. Kids were picking out backpacks. Like it was just, guys. I can't tell you enough, like what it meant. Like the happiness on these kids' faces. The parents. I think I saw parents with some faces painted. Kids were getting their face. It was just an overall amazing event that I just thought like, man, you would thought it would have cost $10,000 to put on an event like this. It was so well done. Chelsea, I want to open up for you, and then also Clarixa, because you guys have been the heart of this thing from the very beginning. And then everybody that was there, I want y'all to talk about your experience too. If you can, Chelsea.
Good morning. So this was actually like full transparency. This was Claudie's event. We all have kind of events that we have proposed, to the group or whatever. And this was Claudie's baby. And when I tell you that girl took it and she ran with it, she was the brains behind this event. She was like, okay, we all had our roles, right? And I think that's really what made yesterday as successful as it was. We had our roles. We knew what we were doing, what we were in charge of. And we all just stayed in our lane. We worked on what we were delegated to work on. We made it happen and we made it work. The biggest thing was the preparation leading up to it. Last week, I don't know if anybody saw us, but last week we had our meetings. We knew our dollar, what we could spend, what we couldn't spend, what we needed, but we also knew that there was going to be some areas where we may have to pivot. So we had a backup plan. And so we made sure everything was streamlined. Our communication was probably the biggest key factor as well. Just knowing everybody has families, everybody also has businesses that we're trying to run and manage in the meantime, but putting all of our personal wants and needs aside and be like, okay, we're going to focus on this event. These families need us. We busted our ass to get this information out there. We need to show up for them. And that was the game changer. Like we completely put everything else aside all last week in preparation for yesterday's event, and seeing that place packed to the gills yesterday was absolutely phenomenal. Clarissa and Delana and I at one point were talking. Delana and I are crying. I don't even have words. I'm still trying to like wrap my head around everything that happened yesterday. We knew how many backpacks we needed, who was registered, who was coming, what that looked like, how many haircuts we're going through. We hit our first 25 haircuts in the first 15 minutes of those people walking through the door. Like the way that God showed up for us, showed up for those families, and made it happen, it is absolutely phenomenal. But we came together, we put everybody else, this community first, and that's truly what made the difference.
It
It was
still
so
feels like a tizzy.
the haircuts were not BS, man. These kids look fly as hell, man. Like some of the best barbers in the area. Gladi, tell us, like all the things that it came to put this together. I was stunned at how badass this was. Like I was like, holy shit! It was overwhelming.
Well, I don't even know where to start, but I don't want to get too into detail because it was a lot of details, but definitely, had a vision, had a plan, had to put it on paper. And then, to be honest with you, the girls, I mean, the whole entire committee, Chelsea, Robin, Christine, Renata, Delana, and Tiffany, they made this. I'm so grateful because this backpack drive wouldn't have been so successful if it wasn't for them. The volunteers, the sponsors, the donations. I mean, we gave a huge that box of supplies to the school. My principal, she was just to allow us to host it in her school for not just her students, but for the whole community. People were coming from the north side. We had people coming from the north side, people trying to get rides from neighbors and people. I mean, we have tons of emails, and my phone would not stop ringing from those trying to get in. Social media. I had a little boy made us cry that asked the day before, I saw your thing on TikTok. I need a backpack. I was like, oh my God. There is so much that people need us there. So I think we all led by heart, to be honest. And yes, yesterday nobody saw me too much emotional, but when I get into a zone, I cannot be emotional. Like they were coming up to me, it's too hot out there. Those kids, poor kids, they need to be coming in. No, I cannot. The rule, we sticking to the rule so that there can be order. If we move it or if we change it up too much, then it can be disorder because then they take over, right? So with these kind of crowds, we didn't even expect it to be this big.
Yeah.
This was above and beyond what we figured was going to happen. I mean, we were ready, we were prepared, we had our volunteers, but yes, countless phone calls because me and Tiffany went door knocking to the different vendors to come. The girls had their people. I had to call these hairstylists, barbers over and over and over. For some reason, they have a hard time saying yes. They say yes, but then it's like, I have another commitment. So, but they came through. And they came through and they have posted on their social media our logo, our banner, our people, their people, because that's their people, right? Because they love to give out to the community. Countless hours. I didn't sleep till like, I don't know, maybe 4:45, 2 days in a row. Yesterday, I was just running. Tiffany did great on marketing. She just went in and just took it. She took it by the horns, and man, that girl has tons of connections. And yeah, she was amazing. We had to sometimes improvise, and we did what we did. Like everybody had to be responsible for the section. And like I said, you're the leader of this. I took the people here. You take care of it. Handle it. If you can't handle it, let me know. I'll figure it out. There's no room for I don't know what to do. No, everybody handled their business. It was great. The numbers, Backpacks, we had 566 backpacks. We provided 494. Pizzas, we gave 352 pizzas. Snow cones, 540 snow cones. Popcorn, we couldn't even count. There was so much. Poor girl. Haircuts, over 100.
Mhm.
I can't even say so much. I'm so grateful. And just to yesterday, I didn't cry. I was, and I'm sorry if I stepped on any toes, just being hard ass. But today, I was so grateful. And this morning I woke up just boohooing, and my kids and all of our kids, because this is not my charity or the girls' charity. This is a charity for our community, and especially for our realtors. Like, you guys are welcome, and your families are welcome to participate. It makes a difference to your heart. It really does. So just, thanks. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can keep going and going, but it was great. And I appreciate all the help and sponsors. And we were even giving flyers out for the next event for this weekend that's coming up for haircuts for those that couldn't get haircuts. Tons of people could not get haircuts, and we did over 100. Can you just imagine? So I had one of the guys, the volunteers, giving out flyers. It was amazing, man. And the volunteers from our brokerage, man, they killed it. Beautiful. And then our videographers, man, we had Christian, and then we had Raul. Oh my God. The guy, what he even told me. I've been to several, and I haven't seen an event so well organized and so well kept together that he stayed from the beginning to the end. He didn't even want to leave. The barbers too. They want to connect with us more. The barbers kept hey, give us a call. We can do this. We can do that. And we were talking about trunk or treat, and the barbers coming out and bringing their motorcycles and their cars and filling up. I mean, I was like, wow.
Crazy. I want to cover top to bottom. Christine brought her husband and all her kids. Chelsea's entire crew was out there. Keelan was working popcorn. Wes was doing snow cones. Delana and her daughter. Robin, her entire crew was out there. Willie was working the door. Like Marcus Montez, Natalie Moreno, me. I brought my son. Leonel was there. Who else from the brokerage was there? Like, we had
Tanya.
Tanya had her baby and her husband.
Oh my God, Tanya did a phenomenal job
my God.
bringing the people back and forth to Robin. It was Tanya. I have to, my hats out. Leo, all the front people, everybody, man. The food court had, it was so crowded, the food court. And me and Chelsea, we had to bring people to the side. I mean, everybody wanted to go through the food court. I know Delana and Christine they were so busy. It was beautiful.
His husband, her daughter was painting faces. Her son was cutting hair. Her other son was waving people in off the streets. Like, it was a complete and total family affair. It was so
My
awesome.
nieces and nephews showed up, the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
So that's what I was gonna say. My grateful was my family. Of course, I'm grateful for this whole thing. I woke up in a tizzy from yesterday because I'm still like overwhelmed and trying to absorb everything that went on yesterday and how everybody was so giving. Because sometimes it feels like we're in a world where it's not. And it was just great to see everybody come along with that. And like, usually right now it's just the four of us that do stuff. My oldest one doesn't usually include herself in a lot of things now that she's older, but she even helped out, and they were doing face painting and stenciling and stuff. And we didn't have the 6-year-old do too much because we don't really know her capability, because she doesn't usually want to do a lot of things. But she was running around that whole place and trying to ask questions and see if people needed help. And at the end, I let her do stenciling because her sisters wouldn't. And I was like, let her do it. You can't mess it up, really. It's stenciling and paint. And so I brought her Delana's daughter. I brought her Delana's daughter to work her first stencil on. And then she just kept on coming, Mom, can you get me more customers? Mom, can you give me more customers? And it was just great to see my family come together like that. And it was great to see that my two little ones are getting a lot of my personality in that way, how I love to give back and do for others, because I always think it's important to do for others as much as you can. And I never want them to be on the hard side. I always want them to be on the softer side and giving. And it was just amazing. All the barbers that showed up, the stylists, everybody worked together real well. We made this thing happen. It was just great. I had to say thank you for, our law enforcement, because law enforcement and military is close and dear to my heart. So I had to thank them for their service, for giving their time into it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was just amazing. But Claudia, you're saying, like it wouldn't have happened without us. It wouldn't have happened without you, because this was your baby. This was the thing that you pulled together and you wanted to do. And we went ahead and supported you. And we did everything that we had to do to make it happen and to function and to have your reality come to life. And if it wasn't for you, I don't even know if it would have been as the way it was. You know what I mean? I just appreciate that, because I'm not that well organized. So that was very organized.
It was awesome. Like, and I don't want to cover too much on this, but there was a lender that we were going to team up with to say, hey, let's put on a really big event. And they said, well, we want to be ahead of the whole thing. And they kind of pushed us. They did their own like 2 days before us.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're regretting it now, because that event was spectacular, phenomenal. Christine, Delana, y'all want to weigh in as well? And then we'll wrap it up. And let's get our affirmation on.
Real quick, I want to say, if anybody that came yesterday has any pictures that they want to share, please send them to me via text message, or if you need my email, I can do that too. I'm trying to put something together with Christian, who was there, for not only our AEA page, but maybe something for the brokerage. So we have that. So any pictures.
I will share it on the Google.
I will, yes.
Yeah, I want to share all those on our Google chat, so everybody can package and put their stuff together. So, Christine, what you got? Delana, what you got?
I just want to say that was just, I'm speechless from yesterday, but we did have all our own positions in that, and I cannot believe how great. And yes, we were pounding the pavement a couple weeks before that event, and we thought nobody was going to show up. And it was tiring. It was like 106 degrees, and we're out flyering, just trying to get people in there, thinking we're not going to get anybody in there. And then the last part of the social media, like pushing it out like that, showed me how social media just took over, and it started to just, we were out there paving the concrete, but I think the last part of the social media really got everybody in. And we met such wonderful people this whole summer, feeding them. And it was a blessing. And I just want to tell y'all a little quick thing. I was exhausted before the event yesterday, and I'm like, I do a little Bible study. And I was in my head, I was like, I am so tired. I don't even feel like doing this. And I went to my Bible study, and that Bible study verse, because it's broken down in layman terms, verbatim said, I don't want to hear you complaining. Get out there and help others and shine your light. And it was just like, oh my God, I heard it from the man himself this morning. I better get my ass out there and do what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just thought that was crazy, that it was like, I said I didn't feel like doing it, and that's what it said in the Bible study. Do not say you don't feel like doing stuff. Get out there and shine your light today. So it was just crazy. That was crazy.
Christine, preach that to my oldest daughter, please.
Delana, what you got?
Good morning. Hi. It was an absolute madhouse yesterday, and I just had to step back for a moment and take it all in. Looking around, just everybody's so busy. I was just like, oh my God. Like, it was a beautiful reminder of like how blessed we are. My heart is just so full. My daughter at one point, she was like, I'm tired. I'm like, girl, what you mean you're tired? We gotta keep going. Yesterday was just beautiful. I loved it so much. And I'm just so grateful for Gladys and all the girls and everybody that helped. I'm speechless still. Like I was so tired when I got home, I didn't even want to talk or text.
Can I say one more thing? Just to let everybody know that we had families coming to us that we didn't know, but telling us stories. You know, one lady, her husband got deported, and she doesn't know how to live without him, and she's having a very difficult time with her kids. And Chelsea stepped up, man. She gave them clothes. She two families, so that shit was on the down low, but. Just want to say that Chelsea did things and that nobody knew that she was doing in the back end. That shit is beautiful. So, anyway, sorry.
Let's go. All right, y'all. Let's get this affirmation in. You don't get more motivational than that. Gotta get out and do God's work, baby.
God is good.
God is yeah. I like that. We're gonna keep it simple today. God is good. Here she comes.
Yes.
Buddy, make me cry. I love this girl. Come here, Chelsea. You're amazing.
Crazy. Let's get in here. Let's get God is good. Chelsea, gonna lead us out? Let's go. Here, y'all come this year. Get in. All right, Chelsea, it's all you. Here we go.
God is good.
God is good on 3. Turn your cameras on.
Cameras on.
Give me one more camera on. What you got?
We only got Jean right now. Cloudy or Christine.
Oh, there we go.
Lori.
Ashley's on. Here we go.
I look a little crazy.
It's okay. It's okay.
God is good. 1, 2, 3.
God is good. God is good. God is good.
God is good.
I got a catfish on my thing. What's up, boy? Let's go. Why is that over there, bro? I got fish on fire.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Crazy.
What up?
Good morning.
Yeah, yesterday was nuts, man.
Girl, we're right in the middle of it. Oh, no.
Oh, y'all moving right now?
Yes. I feel like don't always